Good evening, everyone. I'm your host, Chip Ryder. Due to the recent popularity of at-home video streaming, I've decided to take the Chip Chat portion of local news directly to you over the web. Also because only people over the age of 40 actually watch the news. Tonight's episode is focusing on the lasting impacts of the pornography industry on today's youth. This porndemic is undeniably taking physical and mental tolls on our teens, causing extreme detriment to the culture, health, and happiness of their lives without them even realizing it. Joining us tonight is my cousin Richard. Richard used to be a producer of pornographic material, but has since converted to lead a much happier, healthier, normal life. Richard?
Please, Chip. Call me Dick. But yes, I'm afraid I was a pretty big name in the pornography industry, having recruited actors and actresses for the past 12 years.
Did you say 12 years? But you would have only been 7 years old.
Why, yes, but 7 years is pretty old in porn years. You know, they say 10% of all online porn consumption is done by children under the age of 10.
Additionally, studies show that 10% of kids younger than 10 have seen porn. Kids under 10. Pardon my Italian, but they can't even pop the weasel yet, can they?
Makes sense to me.
This means that if 1,000 people watch porn in a day, 100 of them will be little kids, and 10 of them would have seen it before and are returning for more.
Exactly. And with children as young as 5 having access to porn through their parents' phones, tablets, or video game consoles, this brings the average age of children watching porn down to just 11 years old.
5-year-olds watching porn, but they can't even juice the goose yet, can they?
We'll get to that later. Hell, that's just how many young people watch the damn stuff, let alone how many are kidnapped, trafficked, and groomed to star in it.
Hold on a second. Now, it is true that over 900,000 children go missing around the world every year, and that figure is only a sum of averages from 9 countries that happen to have reported data on it.
It's a sad but true fact, Chip.
And since this is the news, we should sidetrack to the recent scandal from Wayfair Incorporated.
Is this about Wayfair? That company with the silly TV commercials that's been selling children disguised as overpriced furniture to rich Satanists around the world? But the Twitch streamers I'm subscribed to say that's just a conspiracy theory and not to worry about it.
That may be a possibility, but there are a number of unbiased and unrelated facts I will list off now. It is true that basic household items like cabinets, dressers, and throw pillows appeared on Wayfair's online store with prices ranging from $10,000 to $16,000. That is a true fact, number 1. Number 2, the names of these items corresponded with the names of children that had recently gone missing. These names aren't your basic Dick, Jane, Sally, and Bill either. They're very specifically spelled and stem from a number of cultural backgrounds. Number 3, after the strangely expensive listings were discovered by a handful of news outlets, all the items were taken off the site, rendering the specific products untraceable. Number 4, each item has a stock keeping unit, or SKU, for Wayfair to track every item in their inventory and warehouses. There are reports that after entering the SKUs into a Russian search engine, the image results include several children in bathing suits. However, you have to type the US SRC after the number. Number 5. Tom Hanks, former associate with Jeffrey Epstein and alleged pedophile by Isaac Cappy, who I don't have time to explain, just look him up yourself, posted a photo in 2016 that includes the letters US and SRC spray painted on the asphalt. Number 6. Andrea Jung, who sits on the Wayfair board of directors, is a known acquaintance with Reese Witherspoon, Michelle Obama, and Hillary Clinton, all either A-list celebrities or world-famous politicians, each with ties to Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and their associates.
Those are some kooky facts, Chip. And a rather lengthy sidebar. Now, where was I?
You were suggesting that some of these hundreds of thousands of unsolved disappearances could be related to porn. How would that fit into the process? Those kids can't even spank the monkey's uncle yet, can they?
Funny you ask that, Chimp. The only reason we know the answer to your question is through the origins of pornographic material.
Ah, the 1960s and 70s, the rise of the sexual revolution.
And its consequences were a disaster for the human race.
Of course, but that's a topic for another episode. But for now, back to the rise of porn.
Oh yay, history time. Okay, so the father of the sexual revolution is considered to be Alfred Kinsey. You may know him from your history class or your AP psychology class for his controversial experiments and findings, as he was a homosexual scientist.
Hold your horses, Dick.
That's the name of one of my videos.
Okay, so let me get this thing straight.
Also one of my videos?
This isn't going to be some half-baked conspiracy you got from 4Channel or iFunky, or some crazy outlaw book like this one.
Hey, is that the Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard logo?
But no, Chip. That's all factual information that you learned from being in the biz.
My apologies. Please continue.
Anyways, before Kinsey's 1948 Sexual Behavior in the Human Male and its female-driven soft reboot in 1953, parents didn't know whether their 10-year-old son should come fat loads or not.
Well, duh. No normal, self-respecting, decent-minded person would ever think things like that. Unless you're some insecure, sex-obsessed, pervert child molester.
Hey, I'm telling the story. Speaking of Alfred Kinsey, his books described boys as young as 5 months being forced to orgasm, with one 4-year-old boy being tested to orgasm 26 times within 24 consecutive hours. He also went around encouraging pedophiles in his local area and other countries to go out raping kids for his research.
Well, sure. I guess raping children is kind of messed up. But isn't it great that we have all this unnecessary knowledge about kids and sex? Doesn't that make all the child rape worth it?
Yeah, I guess so, even though Kinsey lied in all of his published research and misrepresented the amount of single people, married people, sex offenders, and prostitutes in his research.
Well, at least no one got hurt. Except all them kids that got raped.
And the countless marriages destroyed after Kinsey told the world that 45% of men have affairs, 80% have had premarital sex, and 37% have had gay sex. Along those lines, he also stated that 40 to 50% of men have had sex with animals, and 70% with prostitutes.
And that data was faked in 1948. I can't imagine how high those figures would be now after generations of nihilistic, promiscuous hookup culture that has totally benefited everyone's lives. But how does this pertain to porn?
Anyway, Kinsey set the stage for America and the world to give up on being wholesome, moral-abiding citizens and to just sleep around like rabbits. Before marriage, with relatives, with kids, hell, some probably had sex with rabbits. Enter Jens the Ender, a Danish pornographer who founded the studio Color Climax in 1967 with his brother, Peter.
Ah, a family man. Starting up his own family business. Sounds like some nice guys.
Except porn wasn't legal in Denmark until 1969, and when those goofballs legalized it, they legalized all porn. Audio, visual, even with animals. And, yep, you guessed it, child porn.
So, pornography started with child porn, but I don't watch child porn. I'm just into normal stuff like feet, armpits, and kneecaps, just like the average Joe.
Fetishes for weird shit like that develop as a result of desensitization. Your brain is so used to normal things like a beautiful girl, and loving your partner and best friend for life, that you need more insane material to get things going. That's when people seriously get into things like feet, or scat, or people becoming traps. If you don't know what that is, just look it up. It literally alters your brain chemistry to make you think you're into stuff that you really aren't. Not only is porn harmful to your physical and mental health, but it's also gay.
That does sound pretty gay, Dick. Damn. So even normal porn can affect your brain's perception of sexuality, and has a few nasty side effects for your pecker, like endurance, and your ability to pitch the tent, if you know what I mean.
Except no porn is normal porn. That's just something people tell themselves to rationalize it. The same people that tell you that watching porn is normal and healthy and that everybody does it are the same people that make it and popularize it in the country. Like Jens the Ender, who made millions off spreading child porn in the US and selling his videos that he made with 7 to 11-year-olds around the world. Or Alfred Kinsey, who made millions off single-handedly manipulating the morals, values, culture, education system, and psychology of generations of children. Or Al Goldstein. Hey, is that the Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard logo? Who made billions off of normalizing hardcore pornography in the US through his multiple magazine series titled Screw, Bitch, and Smut.
Alright, take it easy, big guy.
Another one of my videos.
Yes, I'm quite familiar with your work. That's why I'd like to bring in our next guest to discuss how the porn industry negatively portrays and demeans women. Your former co-star, Candy Bubbles.
I'm glad to be here, Chip. I'm a big fan of your show.
That's nice. How did you two meet?
Well, we met on the set of a shoot for a film we did down in Florida.
Whoa, lots of fancy film words. Sounds like you two made some quality pictures.
Oh, I've done films, web series, magazines.
And you no longer do this kind of work. Why?
Well, I was doing a shoot for Al Goldstein at Bend Over You Fat Monthly when I realized that this sex work was beneath me.
Actually, that was just me.
I realized I was always playing the maid cleaning up for her boss or the housewife vacuuming her second husband's house, only to eventually be dominated by a massive black. Now I can do that at home for free with someone I love.
Touching story, Miss Bubbles. I take it you've settled down then?
My slit has been run through the mills, Chip. After hooking up with strangers in high school, college, and work, with countless men for decades, I finally settled down with the man of my dream, with a man, and we have one son. I'm such a trad wife. Look, I have a religious necklace and everything.
What beautiful character development, folks. Candy, if you had one message for our female viewers, or all of our viewers at home, rather, what would it be?
Girls, you are more than the sum of your parts. You are more than a body to be paraded, abused, and disrespected. Your entire personality and all the good you have to bring to the world aren't defined by your body, your sexuality, or how many guys you can sleep with in your first semester at a college in a new state. Don't support this vile mistreatment of women and children. Sex trafficking generates $99 billion every year, with roughly half of all human trafficking linked to the pornography industry. It's not normal to watch this stuff. It's certainly not cool, and it's not even healthy. And the people that tell you it is do so because they're making a profit off of it. They make billions of dollars and live in the biggest homes and drive the nicest cars because they've turned a large percent of the global population into addicts. Pornography addiction is real. It affects a large percent of people you know at school or work or your family, especially children. Private, professional help is available across the country and online. Don't be embarrassed to seek help or want to get help for others. If politicians and television are so hell-bent on normalizing it, then you can certainly normalize talking about it and the issues it brings to addicted, struggling men, abused, trafficked women, and generations of children whose minds are taken advantage of and corrupted by impurity. No one should support porn. Selling the bodies of men and women and boys and girls and children for a depraved, temporary moment of false satisfaction. There is no objective argument in favor of porn, other than a warped sense of freedom that the government says you're entitled to, but takes away from you at every chance they get. The only people that benefit from porn are sexual predators and billionaires, who are mostly the same people anyway. You don't benefit. Your girlfriend or boyfriend or partner doesn't benefit. Your little brother or sister doesn't benefit. Your beautiful children won't benefit. People need to protest and revolt against it like the sick institution it is, silently contaminating the minds, bodies, and souls of every individual around the world. Also, it's gay.
Well put, Candy. Candy Bubbles, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear friend, my cousin Dick Ryder. We'll be back after these messages.
Hey, is that the Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard logo?